tight.
At Clarksville Speedway. It has been a hectic, crazy week. I did not have time to film an intro at all of us coming here, loading the car up or anything, but I'm sitting here. I just made my first pass. Got a cell phone video, didn't get the best video of it, but I'll show that to you guys. So I left on 7 pounds and the boost was right around 11 to 12 pounds the whole pass. Didn't even make it out of second gear, and I went a 598 at 117 miles an hour, which is insane. This car is gonna make some stupid power when it starts getting turned up. And I'll go ahead and show you guys the time slip, just so you know I'm not lying. So there it is. That was baby soft tune up right there. Getting the boost leash. So left on 7 pounds. And you can see it was like 11 to 12 pounds the whole pass. Might have tagged 13 like for a split second. So I'm gonna get some things checked here on the data log, and we're gonna go up, try to make another pass, and hopefully go a 570, and we'll be set for tomorrow's class.
Pull in like another 1.5 to 2 foot closer,
so we can get it closer to the fan.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Sorry, I didn't
back up.
Pull that out. He's going
What's going on, everyone? So as y'all can see right now, I'm laying underneath my car. We went to the track last night to do some testing. I didn't get a lot of video, unfortunately, because I had about 20,000 things going on, and I didn't get a chance to pull out the camera very often because we're so busy when we get out there, we just don't have time to pull out the camera. I don't have enough people to help me. I don't have a dedicated camera person, so it's kind of tough. I'm the tuner, the mechanic, the driver, and everything on the car, and we have kids that the wife's busy with all the time, so it's tough. But anyways, I got out there. You guys seen the 5.9 at 117. That was on 12 pounds of boost, leaving on 7 pounds of boost at 4,300 RPM. So it was a really, really soft tune up, and the car went extremely fast for the amount of boost it was on. So this thing's gonna be bad whenever it gets running right. So came back, the data log didn't run right, so I didn't get to look at any data for the first pass. Went out for the second pass, left, spun the tires a little bit. I turned the boost up to 14 pounds. Got into second gear, ran through the traps. And whenever I went to turn onto the return road, I noticed the engine kind of stumbled a little bit. And it kind of made me a little concerned. And I got turned on the return road, and I looked down at my digital dash at the oil pressure, and I've got 2 PSI of oil pressure. So I shut it off real quick, kill the engine, get the golf cart down to tow me back to the trailer. Got back to the trailer and was wondering if maybe the sensor had went bad, so I moved the oil pressure sensor over to the fuel pressure, turned the fuel pressure on, and the sensor was working, so we knew we had an issue. Right now I'm not exactly sure what the problem is, but I've got some missing coolant out of the radiator, and it didn't leak out of the car. So I'm about to drain the oil and see if our missing coolant is in the oil, because that could definitely cause a low oil pressure condition. So I'm out under here right now about to do that, and we'll see how that turns out. All right, guys, so I just pulled the drain plug out, and there is nothing but water coming out of this thing. So that explains our low oil pressure problem. Let's see if we can fill this drain pan up, because there's about a gallon of coolant missing out of the radiator. So we definitely got a head gasket. I don't know why. That seems to be the only place I could think of that coolant would get in, unless something was cracked, like a cracked sleeve or something. That could cause coolant in the, but then I don't think that would happen. We'd have combustion in the, in there too. Y'all, this thing is bad. Can you see that?
Yep, I'm zoomed
Like
in.
it was straight up water coming out when I first pulled the plug. So we have definitely got a leaking head gasket.
That's the best case scenario, right?
Yeah, no, it's got a leaking head gasket. Hopefully it didn't hurt any of the bearings or the crank. Which the engine didn't lock up and it didn't spin a bearing, so I'm thinking that we hopefully didn't hurt anything. Hopefully I could just get the engine torn down and clean everything up, check the clearances, check the bearings, make sure they look okay, and figure out why we have a leaking head gasket. Because the block was flat, the heads were flat, the head studs were torqued correctly. I did use Cometic gaskets this time. This is the first time I've ever used Cometic gaskets and not stock Ford gaskets. So
Would you be able
we
to?
may end up filling this thing up.
Would you be able to tell by the head gasket if it was leaking from the head gasket?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
there would be like black marks on the head gasket, right?
Yep. The only other thing I could think of that could cause it is there's a freeze plug. There's a couple of little freeze plugs on the block.
Yeah, hang on.
If one of those freeze plugs popped out inside the timing cover, that could dump coolant into the that could definitely dump coolant into the oil pan. I'm just glad I caught that low oil pressure and shut the engine off before I spun a bearing or locked it up, because that would have been bad. But as of right now, I'm feeling a little bit better, because I hopefully didn't run it too long with water in it. So I've dug into the engine just a little bit more since draining the oil the other day. Not a whole lot, but I am glad that I decided to take the valve covers off, because I pulled the valve covers off and I had already started to get surface rust up here on the chains and stuff from all the moisture that was in the valve covers. So I actually took these off with the plan to possibly be able to see down behind this timing cover. There's some freeze plugs back there that could possibly be leaking, and that could be why I'm getting water in my oil. So, but anyways, here's all the water that's sitting in these valve covers, and they've been sitting for a little bit, but it's just nasty water oil mix sitting in there. And but anyways, clean these up and got some oil on them, WD-40'd them just to keep them from rusting, and got them covered up now. But what I'm gonna do today is I got this coolant pressure tester, so it allows you to pressurize the coolant system, and hopefully I'll be able to find the leak by pressurizing the system, because I'm obviously not getting a leak whenever there's not pressure in the system. So I'll put this on here, pressurize the system up to like probably 20 psi, and then turn the water pump on and see if this thing drops pressure. And if it starts dropping pressure, I can start looking for the leak, possibly see if it's one of those freeze plugs or something, maybe a head gasket. I just really don't have any idea at this point. So I'll go ahead and get this stuff put on there and get it pressurized up, and we'll start checking that stuff out. So I got this tool, this pressure tester tool on here, and right now I've got the electric water pump running. You can kind of hear the water going through the lines, and the system isn't completely full, so you kind of can hear a little bit of sloshing. But there's, right now, I put this thing up to like almost 20 pounds of pressure in the coolant system. And if there was a leak right now, there should be some kind of leak down on here, but there isn't. Like, it's not leaking down at all. So that is a little strange because we obviously had some kind of leak while the car was running. So I'm kind of at a loss, guys. Is this something that's happening while the block's hot? Has anyone experienced like a blown head gasket before that only leaked when the engine was warm? You know, I can get it into some worst case scenarios, but I really don't want to think about that. But I mean, there's obviously no leak right now because this pressure would be leaking off, bleeding down if there was a leak, and there's not. It's not doing it. So if you guys have any ideas, feel free to put them in the comments because I'm kind of at a loss right now. The engine is going to come out. I got to go through the bearings and make sure I didn't hurt any of the bearings whenever the water diluted the oil and I lost oil pressure. The car only ran for a couple of seconds with low oil pressure, so that was a good thing. I don't think it hurt anything, but I'm just going to completely tear the engine down and recheck it for good measure. And I'm kind of hoping when I pull these heads off that I find something, the head gasket, that I can tell the head gasket's been leaking. And if not, then I'm going to have to start investigating farther, like maybe, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see when we get to that point, but I really hope that this is just a head gasket issue. I don't know. I'm kind of lost at this point, guys. I've never had this kind of issue before. So, as you can see, we've been here talking for almost 2 minutes, and this pressure has not bled down yet. I was thinking maybe it was leaking at the two. I've got this. I love having this block over here because you can kind of look at this mock-up block right here and see places that it could be leaking at. So you got two freeze plugs right here that sit behind the timing cover whenever it's on the engine. And I was thinking that maybe I could be getting a leak from one of them, but I'm not getting a leak from that. And then when you look on the top of this block, you know, these are all coolant passages right here. All of these are coolant passages around the cylinders. These are the old drain back holes from the head. So, I mean, maybe there could be a leak between these passages and those old drain back holes and there's water leaking down. Or what if there's a leak in the head somewhere? I just don't know. I have no idea at this point. So, if anyone has any kind of idea what could be causing this problem, like I said, put it in the comments. You know, I'm not too proud to admit when I don't know what's going on and I have no idea what's going on with this thing. So, pretty disheartening. I'm pretty let down right now. We put a lot of work and effort into this thing for it to go and act like this. I'm pretty upset, but it is what it is. So, I'm gonna end the video here, guys. The next video, I'll probably have the engine out of the car and we'll do a tear down analysis and just take a look at everything. And I'll take advantage of that and get you guys some tech videos on how to degree cams and all that stuff. So everyone stay tuned, and I'll talk to you guys later.